Some of my earliest memories are me on a boat. I always just love sailing, being out on the water. I just love it.
My earliest memories are cruising with my family when I was a very young age. Broke my arm hanging from my father.
Yeah, I think my family had a lot to do with me getting into sailing too. My father's a pretty avid sailor, so I mean it was a big influence for sure for me getting into sailing.
My father had done a lot of racing in his youth and still does today, and that helped me get into it because it's in the blood, it's in the family.
Yeah, and then I guess I started racing at the Ross Day Yacht Club in small dinghies. Did some big boat races whenever I could with my family, but always on the water every day of the summer for sure.
And then the natural progression took us into junior sailing as soon as we could, and I started in England, and then that's where I met Jamie in Canada.
And from there, we just kind of spent every summer, ever since we were probably 8 years old, down at the yacht club, just messing about in boats, either teaching or learning to sail, progressing through the ranks, I guess.
And each summer we'd find ourselves doing the NB circuit or the East Coast circuit, started racing, started doing that sort of thing.
And then after that, I mean, what we did is we got into the Silver program, which is the highest up racing program that junior sailing is offered.
This was a competitive ring that was the first time we were ever part of a proper sailing team, and we'd travel around the East Coast, even as far as Montreal, racing with our team.
And I think the highest I finished in the New Brunswick circuit was I won the Bite circuit one year in New Brunswick.
This started to show our true potential in the racing circuit, and really gave us a great enthusiasm to continue with what we're doing, and we had great coaching and just an incredible summer altogether.
If anything, it just strengthened our love for sailing. I mean, we love sailing to just mess around, but now we found this new challenge, the racing aspect of sailing, and I think both Topher and I just both took to it immediately.
Then after completing the Silver program, I sort of drifted away from the competitive aspect. There wasn't anywhere to go with it really, and I got involved with high school sports and then university, my first 2 years of university.
And for me, I mean, the closest I found I could get to sailing in the summers was to teach it. Not exactly what I wanted to do, but it was as close to the sport as I could get, so I spent some summers teaching in Ross Day here and then down in Bermuda later on.
Both of us sort of found ourselves missing out on potential great years of racing and learning a lot more of the sport, and brought us to our next big decision. We came home from university after our second year, and both of us started talking about what we could do in the future.
So basically, Topher suggested, maybe it might be a nice idea if we could go sail international 14s over in England.
But similar to what we're sailing today, but a bit smaller, and it's a completely different fleet together.
So I said, let's take it one step further. Let's sail the 49er, which is an Olympic class, but with a really tangible goal. Let's aim for the 2012 Olympic Games in London.
After looking at it, I thought, that looks like an interesting boat. I probably can't sail it, but I think we should give it a go. So that kind of led to our next decision, which was where we should go.
And it was going to be pretty cold if we went to England, so let's go to Australia. We know some people down there already. It's where the boat originated, so it seemed like the logical decision to head down to Australia for a year.
We started laying the groundwork. We did some research, kind of all those questions that our parents could deflate our bubble with. We sort of found out the answers to, like how much it was going to cost us in petrol to get down to Melbourne.
Just the little quirky little things that only parents would be thinking about. And so we'd kind of been mulling this over for some time now, and we were at the movie theaters one night watching some ridiculous movie. And we went with a big group of friends. I was at one end of the row, Topher was at the other. And halfway through the movie or whatever, I leaned down the row and said, "Hey Topher, who's going to drive this thing?"
And I didn't even have to think about it. I looked back at him and I just said, "You will." And that was the decision maker right there. We were going to Australia, and
haven't looked back since.